This week on Arizona Illustrated, Unbroken and Unflinching, Teen Mental Health.
I couldn't let go of this thought of like, oh, I can just disappear, and things would be so much easier.
Fighting Molly, in the ring and out.
I'm excited to get back in there and not just prove to the world, but prove to myself.
Never forgotten. Homeless veterans honored.
No veteran should go without honorable burial. They deserve that recognition.
Welcome to Arizona Illustrated. I'm Tom McNamara. May is Mental Health Awareness Month, and an important part of that effort is ending the stigma that surrounds mental health issues by speaking openly about them. Last year, Arizona public media producers Gisela Tellis and Tom Klesby produced the AZPM original documentary, Not Broken, about the lives of 7 young people coping with mental illness, told in their own brave words. This is a short introduction to them and their stories, Unbroken and Unflinching.
I was a pretty happy child, throughout, elementary school and stuff. Grandparents always will come to every single one of my sports events. They'll support me no matter what.
I remember it was really happy, and I just, would go out and play a lot. I remember a lot of fun times with my sister.
I was really easygoing as a child. Had a really big imagination, so I would just go out and play and pretend I was an astronaut, a policeman. Barbies, I would just be in there for hours just playing.
As a kid, we were a very close-knit do or die family. If somebody messes with one of us, they gotta mess with all of us. We would get into fights every now and again, but in the end we would come out stronger for it.
So I went to a Catholic and a Lutheran school, and all of my mom's friends are gay, all of them are lesbians. 4th or 5th grade, where they tell you that all gays are evil and they're all going to hell. I'm sorry, being told that the person that you look up to the most is going to hell when you're 12 years old is a really big deal, really big deal, really took me out.
I remember being bullied as a young kid. One of the biggest things of when I was bullied was because of my culture or because of my race, stuff like that.
When I was 12 was when I was first suicidal, and I told a middle school basketball coach, and he said, "Don't worry about it, it's not that serious, you'll get over it." And I was like, dude, I just told you I wanted to die. You should have paid more attention to me. But I wasn't actually diagnosed with anything until I was 16.
I actually started seeing a psychiatrist too. And that's when I officially got diagnosed with major depressive disorder and major anxiety disorder.
Being diagnosed at the age of 12 with schizophrenia, depression, anxiety, bipolar disorder.
Bipolar disorder, rapid cycler with depressive tendencies, and schizoid manifestations.
Serotonin syndrome, psychosis, and catatonia.
Depressed and anxious.
PTSD, bipolar, ADHD.
The biggest thing that I learned that was really important to me was that it's the way your brain functions. If you have a child that has diabetes, it's not any different than a child that has a mental illness. They're both diseases. They just affect different parts of your body.
My biggest issue always has been saying I'm bipolar, but I've recently have been able to learn to say I have bipolar disorder. People don't say I am cancer. People don't say I am diabetes. They have cancer, they have diabetes.
There's all this anxiety that's built up, and it feels like it needs to be somehow let out, I had no other way of dealing with it. If I was in school and I felt like I needed to, I would just take a pencil and scratch it against myself. If I was at home, I just took dull nail cutters. It just over the years, progressively gotten worse. And so it's gotten to the point where it's possibly needed stitches.
Mainly what I was thinking was that people were after me, maybe kind of spying on me. I almost kind of thought that they were actors who were dressed up as my friends. It was scary because I was in a psych ward of a hospital, which, you know, I had never been in before. And it just seemed like totally a situation that I never imagined myself getting into.
Come on. So there's the panic and fear and this idea that I'm just going to be torn apart from the inside, and then the elation of striding through life like I can conquer anything and I'm invincible. Come on, go, 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 come on.
Abandoned by pretty much everyone I cared about. Got locked up in a place where people didn't really care about me, multiple places, which didn't give me a lot of reason to do any constructive change. Because, you know, if you look around and nobody cares, like, why should you care, right?
I thought my depression couldn't get any worse when I left high school, and then I went to college, and then it got worse, and I, like, lost myself for real, like, actually lost myself in it. So right now I'm still trying to find anything that used to be there at all, so mostly what I rely on for any form of happiness is, like, drugs.
Games and a spooky time.
When I was seeing voices and everything, I always saw them attached to people. But whenever I looked at someone, I saw a certain figure or a person standing next to them, and which always told me, like, it was danger. Like, I saw an evil shadow back next to them, and I mean, it was always like with wings, or the shadows would change with every single person I meet.
And it really spiraled. Like, I started self-harming a lot, and then at that point it was also like, I think the suicidal thoughts came in, like, I don't want to live anymore. What can I do to not live? People will be better off without me. It was crazy. I attempted suicide, I think, 6 more times within 7-8 months.
I think about suicidal ideation almost every minute of every day. So, I mean, the chances of me doing something like that are very high.
That second time I attempted suicide, like, I was just telling my mom that I wanted to kill myself, and they agreed. I told them I want to be locked up. I agreed. I told them I want to be put in a safe place, and at that point was like the behavioral health hospital. They thought it was a safe choice.
There was a point where I couldn't get it off my mind. Like, I would be in school and I'd be thinking about it. I couldn't let go of this thought of, like, oh, I can just be gone. I can just disappear, you know? And things would be so much easier.
Like, every time I did anything, I was like, you should just die. Like, I would be biking to campus, and I'd be like, you should just go in the middle of the street and just die. And it was awful, and it's like, that's my rock bottom, is, like, still living with that there at all times. Because it's not a passing thought, and it's every time I'll see anything dangerous, it's like, oh, do it, because you just die. Just die.
It was just like, I need to tell my parents, you know, I'm suicidal, like, I need to see somebody. So they got me into psychiatrists and psychologists the next day. Right now I have an integrated healthcare system where I have a psychiatrist, a therapist, and a general practitioner, and a case manager who all work together. And that's a really great way to do it, I think.
It's been a long journey and a bunch of different hospitals and all that. Since I've taken a lot of different medications, I know which ones work for me and which ones don't work for me. Yeah, like the ones that aren't really as necessary, and the ones that, you know, are definitely, like, you know, I need to take every day.
This journey has been more about me learning about myself and how to cope and how to deal with things. Through medication and counseling, I've made a lot of improvement. I've changed a lot and become a more happy person than I was, for sure.
I'm a firm believer that there are things out there, people out there, that would change my life for the better. I just haven't found them yet, or they haven't found me. And I fully intend to look for them.
Even if you don't have a supportive family, you can always find a support system, like groups, even maybe that one friend that's willing to be by your side. But I am blessed and lucky to say that my parents have been really supportive of me throughout this whole journey. I always say, like, I wouldn't be here without what they've done for me, what they've sacrificed for me, and what they still give to me now.
I just always remember feeling so alone about my mental illness and about my headspace and about all the crappy shit that happened in there and about all the shit that sends me off, like, triggers me, makes me go crazy. Like, I just want other people to, like, know that they're not alone, you know? No one's really alone. Like, no matter how messy and complicated your emotions are, like, you still deserve to talk about them.
In 2015, producer Mitchell Riley met Molly Helsel, a passionate single mom preparing for one more fight. In this story, we go along for the ride to see what it's like to train for the ring and be a mom to one little girl.
We're having a birthday party at Reed Park Zoo here, and we have a lot of our friends and family from the gym. I'm Molly Helsel. This is my daughter JC's second ever birthday. I just realized this morning that she's not my baby anymore. She's changed me a lot in so many amazing ways, in ways that no one else has ever been able to. Hi, Beba. Is she gonna get you? You better go get her. One of the coolest things about being a mother is the feeling that kind of love of having someone in your life that without even a second thought that I would give my life for her in an instant. Keep an eye on the clock. Fresh guy every minute. Everybody's ready. Ready. On the bell. Go! Now use lots of strikes, Andrew, lots of strikes. Hit him hard. Hit him as hard as you can. Constant, constant, constant. Go, go, mount. Good. Do not let him get you off of you. Punch him hard like you mean it. There's that triangle. Tap, tap. Right now we've got a fight team MMA practice going on. We're just putting them through the grinder today. I want to see them want to quit, and I want to see them not quit.
Molly's tough. She doesn't give up on us, especially the fighters. She puts us through the ringer. We could feel that as a team, that she really does believe in us, and she dedicates a lot of time to us.
Get all the way down as to grass on the floor. I've had 23 professional MMA bouts throughout my 13-year career. Come on, suck it up, Buttercup, let's go. You have to take into consideration juggling life, juggling family, school, job, your body being broken down, and having to pick yourself up and show up to training again. Just try to give them the best advice that I can while in their corner. You know, make that person pay for getting in the cage with you. And relax, have fun. It's just another day of training.
Fighting out of the blue corner, representing Undisputed with a clean...
You should be confident going into a fight. You should know that you are prepared and ready. You have to find out what is their trigger. Find out what it is that motivates them, what they're afraid of. Kicks, Victor. And then sometimes there comes a point in that fight where you have to pull that card. Stand up, and that means you're gonna get the knee in between him and you. Side to side to side. It's not so much about the win on paper. You know, it's the win of overcoming that fear, overcoming that doubt, making it through those training camps when you don't have the ideal situations. I started getting into trouble just behavior-wise probably about 12. You know, just being defiant and running away, breaking the rules, that type of thing. And then I did start getting into some pretty heavy drugs by the time I was 15. Started smoking pot probably about 13 and started using meth at 15. And pretty quickly after I was introduced to it, I was doing it on a very regular basis and selling it. So it kind of took over my life. Just living a crazy lifestyle, and it came down to one day There was a shotgun involved. The shotgun ended up going off inside the hotel room. I was given a handful of drugs and told to run, and I just remember just being so high and so scared at that point that was my breaking point, and that was where this is too crazy. And I just looked around and I said, I'm way better than this, you know, and I just, that's when I started making the move just to walk away from that life. My family investigated a program called North Star, which was one of these wilderness-based, stick you out in the middle of the woods for a couple of months, see how you like it. If the path went this way instead of that way, you know, I think about that all the time. I remember having a bus ticket to run away to Phoenix to go be a prostitute. That seemed alluring to me at the time. To think if, you know, a friend hadn't ratted me out, and that's when I had gotten sent to that wilderness boot camp. If that hadn't happened, you know, where would I be today? It was the things that I learned in that camp about expecting more from myself, realizing that I was capable of more than I thought I was, that helped me be the adult that I am today. First introduction was just watching a martial arts special on Discovery Channel, covering more of your traditional martial arts, kung fu, taekwondo, that type of thing. I did see some females on that program, and it was something I'd always wanted to try. The next day I started calling around to different schools. I stumbled across Jeet Kune Do Unlimited out of Honolulu, Hawaii. I came to find out that it was more of a mixed martial arts. So it's the style that Bruce Lee developed, but the particular group that I was with was more about the concepts and philosophy. Initially I had walked in from the aspect of just doing something with my life, self-defense perspective, that type of thing. I remember very clearly the first day that I ever sparred. I remember standing in front of this guy, and he jabbed me twice in the face, and my head snapped back, and I was just in shock. I almost wanted to cry, just like, what is happening? And then I got mad, and I took him down and I choked him out. And that's when I realized that I had it in me. I enjoyed the fire that it made me feel. It just really sparked a passion in me that I had never really felt before. It was so interesting and exciting for me that I picked it up pretty quickly. Shortly after that, I started beating the boys in class, and then decided to take it to the competitive level.
Molly Halso has recorded 3 wins and 5 losses, fighting out of...
When I began fighting, there was probably about 30 women in the world that competed at the professional level. Now there's probably thousands. The way that women were viewed that were competing is that you must be lesbian, you must be butch, you must wish you were a man, you must think that you're a man, you must not be feminine, that type of thing. And it was really pretty ignorant. I don't even really respond to people telling me what I should or shouldn't be doing. I don't tell you how to live, so I just didn't really let it affect me. I have a fight coming up. It's my first fight in 3 years. It's a local fight against a girl that I don't know a whole lot about. It's funny how it works, because the more you get your butt kicked in training, the more hopefully successful you will be in the actual fight. Got the sprained finger, I have a compressed elbow, I have a hyperextended elbow, I have a strained calf muscle, I have a sore neck, I have a sore nose. It's all minor stuff. You know, it's kind of a big deal just because I've been on the bench, on the sidelines for about 3 years due to having my daughter and taking care of her. I'm excited to get back in there and just not just prove to the world, but prove to myself, too, that I still belong, that I still have a place in the sport. A lot of people sometimes will ask me, well, gosh, aren't you scared? Well, hell yeah, I'm terrified. Any fighter that tells you that they don't get scared is either lying or stupid.
Making her way to the cage by way of Tucson, Arizona, representing Undisputed. Ladies and gentlemen, fighting out of the red corner, Molly, the Molinator
I could be beat, absolutely, but by the time I walk through the cage doors, what goes through my head is there's no way this chick can beat me, and I'm gonna make her pay for getting in the cage with me. There's always going to be about that first 30 seconds into a fight where you get that adrenaline dump and you're just tired and you just can't do everything's in slow motion. Sometimes it takes a little while, a couple of hits before you get that one that just kind of snaps you out of it. And that's how I know that I'm a fighter to my core, and I take that good hit and I'm like, okay, we're in a fight now. And there's just no fear. I had to finish her there. I just kept saying in my head that I had to win this fight. This was a must-win. Especially to have done it in front of so many people that have supported me and really worked hard to help me get here. Cry if I lose and cry if I win again. You know, ultimately I want to be in a position to where I'm respected in not only the MMA community, but in my particular community as a whole, and you know, just be a great role model for my daughter, be somebody that she is proud of. I want her to be able to brag about me someday, you know, as not just this has-been fighter, about somebody who actually accomplished things.
Last May, we learned of an ongoing effort to honor service members who have died. U.S. military veterans make up a disproportionately high percentage of the homeless population. But what happens when a homeless vet dies alone and on the street? The Missing in America Project seeks to locate, identify, and inter the unclaimed and forgotten remains of American veterans, and for service to their nation, to ensure that they are buried with honor and respect and that they are never forgotten.
Okay, got a bike coming through. As we ride today to give our brothers and sisters their final rest, I want you to keep in mind that their race is done. Our race is not. So let us be living testimonials to those we honor today.
All right, good morning. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Ed Torres. I'm the Southern Arizona Coordinator. I appreciate y'all coming out here, helping us out with taking these veterans home. The chapel have a non-denominational service. Just be mindful that there is a service going on in there, so keep the roar down to a minimum. We have 30 veterans. Have you got people to carry yet?
No. So what we'll do, folks, is I'll hand out gloves. We have 1 or 2 people that are going to be carried by family members, so that's going to be the only consideration. So please volunteer and step forward, and we're more than happy to help you participate. 7. This is about you. So be as involved as you want to be. And I thank you from the bottom of my heart for your service to our nation. Thank you. Missing in America Project was a creation of a vet who believed that no veteran should go without honorable burial. And our intent is always to locate, identify, and recover veterans. And so we approach mortuaries and funeral parlors and run through the lists that they have. The veterans interred today were individuals that some were rendered homeless, and we take responsibility for the cremains. It's a very emotional thing because I acknowledge the person who has sacrificed so much for me. But it goes even further back for me from my father's service to our military, and I feel that I'm closer to him each and every time I do this.
As we ride today, please have your angels spread their wings of protection and keep us all safe. Those of us on motors, those of us in cages. Amen. We're going to key off the hearse. You guys set the pace in the rear. Liz and I will set the pace in the front. Roger that.
It is sad that this mission is necessary at all. I would like to believe that the goal of the MIAP organizers, our fellow veterans, and citizens, that we eventually have no homeless veterans remains to bury and no unclaimed veterans remains to lay to rest.
This is part of the healing process of our organization. And regardless of what we've been involved in militarily wise, we have people who need healing, who need support. It's very important to give the servicemen and women of this nation reinforcement. We asked them to do a job, and they went and did it.
Please accept this flag as a symbol of our appreciation for your loved one's honorable and faithful service.
I have come once again to honor and acknowledge the men and women who have honorably served our nation in a time of war and in a time of peace. Some not having an opportunity to be acknowledged, for they fell not upon the battlefields of this world, but within our neighborhoods and city streets, unidentified, marginalized, and forgotten, destined to fade away without a word, a tribute, or recognition of their respective service to our nation.
Luckett, James H., U.S. Army, Vietnam. Carter, John
Barlow, Ertmer, Salez, Grijalva, Luke, Hall, Cabesco, Roderick, James A., Curtis T. Luke, John M., USN, Vietnam.
Our job will probably be way past me. It'll be handed off to someone else. And I hope that they continue to recover vets no matter where they are. Simply the right thing to do is a statement that we use in our organization just to reinforce the fact of what we feel is to do this for our veterans because they deserve that recognition. Never forgotten, and it never will be. Not as long as I and other people are here to recognize them for their service.
Thank you for joining us here on Arizona Illustrated. I'm Tom McNamara. See you next week.